was this whole thing with Manti Te'o that I heard about? What is that about?
Okay, yeah, this is something I wanted to talk about too. But Manti Te'o, and first of all, let me just say it's great to see him back in the spotlight after. Well, I don't want to get into his situation. Enough people have talked about that already. We're not here to talk about politics or anything like that. But
I mean, he didn't walk out into the sunset. That was the thing. Last game was the national championship. We know how that went. All too well. Had an okay NFL career. Nothing spectacular, nothing terrible, but nothing spectacular. And now he's been kind of off doing his own thing. We haven't heard much from him. Not the typical big Notre Dame star that we see in some of the other ones like Brady Quinn and Jerome Bettis and, the Rocket and all that. Manti Te'o has been kind of secluded. And now he's popping up and joining forces with.
Obviously, we know that he had the documentary that came out last year, which I think was great because that guy, I mean, he is a good guy, despite all the jokes and stuff that people kept going on and still go on with to this day like a bunch of morons. But I was so glad that he was able to finally tell his story in that documentary. It was a long time coming, and he deserved the opportunity to do so. But in recent news, to bring you up to speed, Ben, so it sounds like he's going to be joining Good Morning Football and working for them, working with them and so on. He was just on there. I think it was this just last week, actually. And what I wanted to talk about was this. So while he was on there, and I got to say, he had a great joke about making fun of himself, saying that he hadn't searched himself since 2013 for good reasons, which that was funny as hell. But there was a whole part of the show where he was talking about that national championship game in 2013 against Alabama down in Miami. And just to fill you and anybody else who didn't see it in, he is basically the whole time he's giving Alabama props. Mm-hmm. He's talking about how him and his teammates are walking down the tunnel. They're pumped up. They're ready to go. But then when he saw Alabama come out and he saw DJ Fluker and some of the other guys with their shirts up, showing off their big beastly bodies and going whoop, whoop, whatever. He's like, man, I turn around and I see a bunch of eyes wide like a deer in headlights. Or I forget how he worded it, but he's like, I saw some eyes that were really wide. And he's like, yeah, we got intimidated and we knew it was going to be a long day. And so he was talking, he spent the whole time talking about how good that team was, like how McCarron would just, check multiple times like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I think he said Peyton Manning, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But he said that Alabama had them figured out. They were the better team. And so basically all he was doing was giving them props. But here's my problem that I had with this. I thought Manti was a very good class act talking about this because I remember being in Miami with my buddy Shamrock Jerry for that game. And it was, that was pretty miserable. That sucked. Mm-hmm. But still, though, to give the team that just dominated you props, I mean, that's a class act all the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the problem that I have. First off, you have people like Clinton Dix, who was on that team. He comes out on social media and says, I forget his exact quote, but he said, it was what you did that to your guys yourself, or if you want me to look it up, I can.
Yeah, I'll pull it up real quick.
All right. Here we go. Because I want to make sure that I get this quote right. But while I'm looking this up, he didn't say anything wrong. Manti said nothing negative about Alabama.
Yeah.
So Clinton Dix, he it says here he also responded cryptically calling out Manti Te'o. We want all the smoke. It was really your fault. I won't get into details, though. So he basically, we all know what he's doing. He's taking a shot at the whole hoax thing. He's taking a shot at that. And why he's getting all pissy, I don't know, because if somebody just complimented me and gave me props, I'd be like, you know what? Mad props to you. Mad props to you. You guys were good, but we were the better team. So really, Clinton Dix. You can tell he's just a guy who with a mouth, and like all the other ones that are still making the stupid girlfriend jokes to this day, they're all really just a bunch of one-trick ponies who are really not that intelligent and can't come up with anything new. So that says it all right there. But so Clinton Dix is whatever. I don't care. He's a clown. But the one who disappointed me the most, Ben, was AJ McCarron. Now, you and I, in the offseason, the past 2 years for the UFL/XFL, watching the St. Louis Battlehawks and AJ McCarron being our quarterback there, I've really started to like the guy. He's presents himself as a class act. He's been fun to watch with the Battlehawks, and getting to know him better since he's on our team. Well, you get the idea. It's been fun to cover him, and but I was really disappointed with what AJ said here. His tweet was, he is right about that. They never flinched or even got started, because that was what Manti said. They were never really able to get things going. Anyway, going back to AJ, they stayed completely still while we came flying off the starting line. Manti was one hell of a player, and ND had some great players. I'm not bashing them, but that Notre Dame team as a whole was weak. So you're not bashing them, AJ, but you just called all of them weak.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm really disappointed with AJ, because like I said, us covering him on the Battlehawks the past couple of years, seeing how much of a family man he is and how he conducts himself, this disappoints me. Because he knows that he's better than that, and this was really an uncalled for comment, because like I said, it goes back to both what him and Clinton Dix said. This guy Manti is giving you guys all the props in the world, and you're still taking the time to shit on him and be disrespectful.
Yep.
I don't get that. So that I wanted to talk about that briefly, because that really disappoints me, especially coming from AJ. And like I said, Clinton Dix is whatever. He just your typical mouth. But yeah, that was just my thoughts on it. What's your thoughts on that, Ben?
I mean, it is what it is. It's one of those where it's like everybody wants to discredit Notre Dame. That's the thing. Like, it is what it is. Like, you think Manti gives 2 Fs? Like,
no.
I mean, so yeah, man, like, I don't know. It's whatever.
Well, I know is
typical Alabama BS that, there's no doubt that Alabama has had a dynasty and a hell of a run. There's no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, and my thing is just why would you bash them? Why would you bash somebody who compliments you?
But yeah, just the typical, I'm going to make myself feel better by saying this, that, and the other. So, whatever. I'm happy for Manti. That's the big thing. Like,
yeah, and I'm glad he
feels comfortable. I'm glad he feels comfortable enough to like get back into the limelight and share his knowledge, because let's not forget, Manti was up for the Heisman as a defensive player.
Yeah.
There are very, very, very few guys that can say that. So, his insight will be very interesting to watch for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, that documentary that came out last year, I'm so glad that he finally got a chance to tell his story, because he's definitely one of those guys that I can tell is innocent and pure, and he's not a fake. And I feel bad for the guy that 10 years he had to go through a living hell. And all I know is it's nice to see him doing great. He's married, and all the people that make the girlfriend jokes. Have you seen his wife?
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty damn good looking.